What's up, students? I'm here with Cam.
What's up, guys?
We want you to take a trip with us. Here we go. Students, have you ever had an RIP moment? Now, I'm not talking about a funeral, but I'm talking about a moment where you feel like it's all over, or something you say to your friends when you feel like it's just over. Maybe you had a tough test and your friends ask you, how did you think you did on that test? And you just text them back, RIP, I failed. Or maybe you get in trouble, you're out past curfew, or you just do something you shouldn't and you get in trouble with your parents, and the last thing you do before they take your phone away is you send a text to your friend, RIP. Life is over, I'm grounded, this is a whole lot of change that's about to happen. I feel like it's the end. Now, Cameron, have you ever had an RIP?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Tell me what happened. I wrecked my mom's car. Yeah, tell me what happened. So I was driving, and I just got my license, so I didn't have my own car yet, and I fell asleep, and I woke up in the rear window of the car. It was an expensive car. Yeah, pretty brand new convertible Mustang, so it's expensive, very. Did you get in trouble? Yeah, a lot of trouble. You spanked. Didn't get spanked, no. It's a little too old. Did you feel like it was over? I did, yeah. I definitely thought I was going to be grounded for the rest of my life. Are you still grounded? No, I'm here. It's all good.
Students, just so you know, even interns get grounded. Just like you. So apparently Cameron and I picked the worst day imaginable to go out there and film something because you cannot hear a thing. RIP. But students, these moments of change are just a part of life. And I want you to know that there's something that's common for many of those moments. And it's this feeling that it's final, that it's over, that I will never get past this or through this. And I want to encourage you by something that Jesus said to us and God had to say to us about this. And something he had to say to us through one of his messengers, and this is Isaiah. And God is essentially delivering some bad news to his people. And he's telling them there is a group of people who's about to come into your country and try to take you over. And it's not going to be fun or pretty. And in the middle of that bad news, God makes a promise to them. And I want to read the same promise to you right now. And here's what God had to say. This is Isaiah 43. He said, when you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you. Listen to God's promises. He will be with you. You will not drown, and you will not be burned. And in the same way, when Jesus showed up, he made a very similar promise to us. And here's what Jesus had to say. He said, here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I have overcome the world. Students, realize that Jesus is saying when you have these moments, not if. It's just a part of life. And I want to encourage you that in these moments where it feels like it's over and it's final, it is not the end of your story. And in the same way, Jesus said, take heart because I have overcome the world. And it's another promise that he's saying, I will be with you. Students, one of the reasons we wanted to come out here is because we wanted you to see these ships. And as massive as they are, they're ultimately all held and grounded by an anchor. And whether they're out at sea or in port, the anchor keeps them grounded regardless of what's happening around them. Whether the waters are rising and falling or they're in the middle of a storm, they're kept grounded. In the same way, I think it's such a great reminder, you have an anchor as well. And his name is Jesus, and he promised that he would be with you when life was just flipped upside down. And so students, whether you're going through one of these moments now or one comes in the future, I wanted you to know, whether it's something as small as failing a test or wrecking your mother's car, or something much greater, that the truth remains the same, that God promised he would be with you. And so when Jesus said to take heart, here's what I think he meant by that and how it applies to you and me. The first is to remind yourself of what's true. Remind yourself that God promised that he was going to be with you. Remind yourself that he said you would not be alone. And the second thing, students, is live like it's true. How are you going to respond? What choices are you going to make when you have these moments where you feel like this is the end, life will never get better? And students, You're also in a group right now, and I want you to know that is so important to keeping this in front of you. You were never meant to do life alone, and you're meant to remind each other of what's true and to encourage each other to make the right choices in the middle of these moments. And so we're so glad that you're in group, and I want you to remember this simple truth, that life is full of change, and there will be moments like this where you feel like everything is turned upside down, but ultimately, God does not change, and He promised He'd be with you. And we're so glad you're in a group and you're connected. So we'll see you next week.
There's a shark. Oh!
Let me show you.